right,
I
hang on.
guess.
Welcome to the Truth Over Facts podcast. I'm your host, Dylan. And my co-host, Ron Dog.
What's up, dog? What's up,
happening?
dog?
It's
nothing.
Friday. Friday night at 8. Got me yourself a date. Cannot
Yep.
be late.
That's right, dog. That's right. We got to get a quick one in before you go head off to the bar and drink yourself to a bloody mess.
I drink because I'm good at it.
Yeah, dog. That's right. That's right.
So what are we starting today's episode off at?
We could start with my background. Well, we got Xi Jinping here with us tonight. Hi, Xi. Seems to be the only grown man at the table that wants to fucking bring this shit down to peace negotiations.
No, I put it at Putin.
Do you really fucking believe that? Because I don't. There's something else on to this, dog. There's something going on here.
I think
don't
like
know
it's
what the
kind of
fuck
like
it is, but
they
it's
always say
not. It's not. He's not. He doesn't want to bring peace. He wants to bring more
three-dimensional
fucking
chess. I
destruction.
think Putin's at the top, and then there was Xi, and then it was kind of Trump.
You know what, Xi? Why don't you do yourself a favor and take the fucking back seat to me, bitch? There we go.
I think he's like dictator for life or some shit like that.
Yeah,
for life.
Yeah. For life.
But yeah, other than that, it's Friday. Stock market took a shit again today. I don't know what else is going on. There is we live in Wisconsin, and the Bayshore Mall parking garage collapsed.
Yeah. So
made national news.
Yeah, dog. You know
Like-
it never ends, dog. It's one catastrophe after another.
Right.
But it feels like, you know, a lot of shit happens on a daily basis. You know, like there is, you know, accidents everywhere, but I just feel like as of late, like all these fires and stuff, I feel like oh yeah, here's another fire. It's made national news. You know, it's weird.
I said before, it's gonna keep getting worse and worse and worse and shit, and every fucking day it's just gonna fall apart even faster. It's trying to like catch a falling knife kind of shit.
Well, and I think all of this coverage of like all of these fires, you know, and all these accidents is giving us the impression that hey,
our government is completely incompetent at doing anything.
And America's falling apart. Yeah. That's what it feels like, dog.
But you know what, Ronnie? It would really help out the government if you just shut up and just went to Walmart and shopped at Walmart.
Or if you went to work and got that overtime, so we can take.
You don't even get overtime. Just show up and die.
Yeah. Show up, don't die, because we need that money.
Yeah.
We need that cut.
And how do we reciprocate our love towards our employees? Pizza party.
Pizza party, dog.
Tell you what, record profits, you get to pick out the toppings this time.
Dog.
May God have mercy on the asshole whoever created the fucking pizza party, you prick. I hope you burn in hell. Whoever came up with it. Hey, I got an idea to raise morale. Oh yeah, what's that? How about a pizza party? What do you mean? Like just buy some pizzas? No. Pizza party. Like we celebrate just getting pizza. So we take away their bonuses and their overtime. In exchange, we give them pizza. Yeah. I think it'll be a big hit.
It's. I'm not gonna lie, dog. I kind of like it because.
Wait, you guys get pizza party?
I get to eat pizza, dog. I get to eat pizza. And it's not just one kind of pizza. There's multiple varieties of pizza that you get to sample out and try, dog. And I would consider myself a pizza connoisseur. But I would also consider myself a connoisseur of many other things when it comes to food. You know what I'm saying, dog? You feel me,
I'm the prick at the pizza party where I'm like yelling at management. What do you mean there's no red pepper packets? What do you mean there's no Parmesan cheese packets? We had
Dylan,
record
you're the kind of
profits.
guy that would be like, how much did you pay for that pizza again? Oh, that much. Well, I could have used that much extra on my paycheck this week.
Right. Hey, remember when you didn't need me and you were gonna shoot me up full of vaccines and then like take my job if I didn't do that? Remember that?
Exactly,
I don't
dog.
know what you're talking about, Dylan.
Oh, so is this pizza party like reparations or something? Or
Yeah, pizza party reparations. I've been such a smart ass at these like pizza parties and shit where you know, one of the people at my work during the meeting is like, "Oh, we hit $1 million. Like, when's our pizza party gonna be and shit?" And I said, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa!" With the attitude, Jim. I said, "I'll tell you what. Since you like being such an outstanding employee, and this is in front of a big meeting with our managers and shit. I said, since Jim, you like being such an outstanding employee, I'm gonna let you pick out the toppings of the next pizza party." And he goes, "But Dylan, I thought I won the Golden Pizza Cutter Award." I said, "No, I already promised that to Brian." So I said, "Don't get your hopes up. But if you keep doing what you're doing and make us $2 million next month, then you'll get the Golden Pizza Cutter Award." He's like in his 60s and shit. And he's just laughing. We're all laughing. The management is just sitting there pissed. It's like, how can you be a fucking adult and think that's okay? Well, Dylan, I have a boss, and my boss tells me what to do. So you're a fucking grown adult and you can't think for yourself. That's all I needed to hear. Got it. What's that supposed to mean? You got a negative attitude, or you got at work they always say like, you got a bad attitude. I said, considering all the abuse and neglect I've taken over the years and underpayment, I think I got a pretty good attitude. I'm just kind of tired of these pizza parties. Like, I'm getting heartburn from the shit now.
Oh, dog, let's get into this shit, dog. First off, where can they fucking find us, dog? If
Can
they
find
need
us.
to they need to get a hold of us, they want to reach out, they want to say that we suck or they love us or they want to talk
Be
about
us.
something, they
They
want
can
us to
be us.
talk about something, where the fuck can they find us? Dial on.
Well, you can email us at truthoverfactspodcast@gmail.com. You can find us at Twitter at truth_overfacts at Twitter. And you can also find us on YouTube at Truth Over Facts YouTube channel. But you might have to put in Amerigeddon in there because maybe the algorithm might, kind of like synchronize it a little bit better.
Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe or
Yeah.
dislike,
Or donate.
whatever. Yeah,
You can
or
donate to our
donate. Yeah, hell
alcohol
yeah,
fund.
donate. Yeah, Doc. So I just saw some breaking news here from Roz Alerts on Twitter. It says that Biden has no intention of going to East Palestine, Ohio.
Why not?
I don't know. I didn't get any details about that.
Why would he? Trump created that mess. He
Yeah, well,
deregulated.
why would he go anyways? The real
Ukraine's
president
more
was already
important.
there.
Those Ukrainian pensions are more important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yes
But
they
that
are,
shit cracks
dog.
me up. Like, Trump went there and shit in typical Trump fashion. Let me get ahead of the fucking bullshit, and try to like get my own way or try to. That's why I always love Trump as being the marketer that he is, or the salesman that he is, or AKA the con man that he is. He always just tries to exploit every single little thing. It's not about Biden not being there when it should all be about him deregulating the railroads and shit like that caused the crash. No. What are you talking about? Right? I didn't create the crisis. I'm cleaning up the crisis that I created.
No matter how much they try to fuck with this guy, Biden, he's still gonna run for re-election.
I don't know. See how he can. The guy can't even walk
That's what
upstairs.
there's this
See a video of him falling up the stairs.
yeah, this Simon Atiba, this guy's he sits in like the White House press briefings.
Mm-hmm.
He says in a sit-down interview, President Joe Biden says he intends to run for re-election. Wife Jill Biden Grant's separate interview says, husband not done, not finished, brought us out of the chaos. God, these people. Look at what he has accomplished. Biden also talks about Chinese spy balloon and classified documents. His counsel told him not to talk about them. Not to talk about that. This dude is so fucking corrupt, dude. And they still let him sit there in the office, man. What happened to America? What happened to holding people accountable? We just let these people get away with this bullshit. It's ridiculous.
Ronnie, when you own somebody, you don't get to be held accountable.
No, I'm talking about the people, man. The people. The people don't work for the government. The government works for the people. The government has no fear over the people anymore because they have control over the people, and the people let them have control. It's a fucking shame.
Our founding fathers told all of us shit, but we're stupid. Americans are dumb as shit. They fall for the same con over and over again, you know? And it's just one of those things, you know, throughout time, the more power you give the government, ultimately they're going to try to kill your ass if you try to speak out about it. You know, all empires end in violence, revolutions, stuff like that.
Here's a reminder from George Hart. Make your bed.
Make your bed. Don't forget to make your bed. That means it's 7 o'clock, dog. No. 7 o'clock, you got to make your bed. And it's gonna go off again. Yeah. Keep going, dog. Keep going.
I thought that was China hacking us.
Don't worry about it, dog. Don't worry about it. It's not an EMP attack.
No. What I'm saying is that, you know, those who create the laws ultimately get so egotistical, they think that they're in control of everything. Mm-hmm. Which ultimately they are and shit. Thanks, homie. But you know, everybody's so egotistical. I mean, look at how all those Congress people were insider trading during the pandemic. There, not a single one of them was prosecuted. Nancy Pelosi, $100 million or over $100 million net worth of insider trading and shit. Yeah. I'm not the problem. You telling me I'm the problem is the problem. Which is ultimately why, you know, I would not be surprised. I mean, this is very similar to ancient Rome, where the barbarians were at the gates and the politicians at ancient Rome made it so bad and so desperate for everybody, they welcomed the enemy in there to destroy the politicians, the corrupt people and stuff like that. So I would not be surprised if shit were to hit the fan in a cyber attack and the government blamed China or some shit like that, or Russia, when in fact it is America that will do it on itself. To the point where you'll have like rogue militias or they'll deem domestic terrorists, but eventually it just ultimately becomes freedom fighters, right? Mm-hmm. Where this is why the government now is so adamant about domestic terrorism and right-wing nationality or nationalism.
All of it's false, dude. It is false.
It is.
On its face.
Okay, so for instance, a perfect example is the Proud Boys. Okay, I don't support them one bit, but the Proud Boys, media terms, are deemed right-wing militias.
I'm not saying I don't support them. I don't care for them.
Yeah, okay.
It is what it is. I don't.
Yeah,
you know, it's.
But what I'm saying is that the Proud Boys, in the media terms, are deemed right-wing nationalists. Right? You hear nationalists all the time, but their leader, I think, is Puerto Rican.
No, it's Rachel Maddow. Dog!
No, I think he's Puerto Rican or something like that. So how can a right wing, you know, and it doesn't fit the profile of it, but the government is starting to catch on to the fact that people no longer believe their lies across the board. So the government is trying to label different groups as being terrorists or domestic terrorists. I mean, even just buying a gun nowadays, you're automatically going into the index, right?
Our drag queen's not terrorists to our children.
Well, it's more psychological warfare than it is a kinetic warfare. That's why. That makes sense.
Do you think drag queens are terrorists to our children?
I think you have the right to allow your children to learn whatever they want to learn, but ultimately it's up to the parent. But the parent chose that school. So if
So
that
you're
school,
saying that parent's fucked up, which that
I'm
parent
saying,
is fucked up for taking their kids to drag queen story time or letting their young kid read porno books. Yeah, but it's also just as much fault as the trans or the drag queen dancer. That shit's
okay,
gross, dude.
so are overweight people, is that due to your fucking thyroid gland or is that due to your lack of self-control shoving shit into your face?
I love food.
Right, we all do. Then nobody has self-control anymore because
Could be my gland,
yeah, it could be my thyroid gland.
but I love food. Love it.
But no, the problem is that over time, people have shifted their accountability onto the institutions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, for instance, we've all heard of the birds and the bees story that our parents used to tell us, right?
Yeah, I don't know how that goes. Can you explain that?
Apparently,
Is it the stinger?
apparently the bee like puts its stinger in the bird, and then the bird,
Oh, that's what it is.
then the bird lays the
bird's
egg or something like that.
the bird's gotta be in a lot of pain, dude. I've been stung before. That shit ain't cool.
No, but our parents used to tell us the birds and the bees story.
Yeah.
But over time, parents have relied on the educational system, health class, right? We all had health class
Yeah.
to educate us about that.
Yes.
So it's a lack of responsibility on the parents ultimately.
Well,
So
it doesn't help when you have Merrick Garland telling telling the nation that these people that go to the parents that go to these school board meetings are terrorists that are against this stuff.
so pull your kids out.
Oh, I don't have to worry about it. My kid's going to private school.
Well, there you go. I was never a big advocate
But it's
for
not just
homeschooling.
about me though, dog. It's about all these other people that can't.
The way
It's
that the
private
system
school.
thrives is it thrives on fear and poverty. A
Well,
lot of
we
people,
have to get over fear, and people need to stop being dependent on the fucking government. It's bad,
exactly right,
bad. They
right,
got you under the wing, and
right,
they're
and
just
that
gonna
never used to
keep.
happen when we
They
were on
think
the
that
gold standard.
you think that they're helping you out whenever you get that government check every month.
Mm-hmm.
They're not helping you out. They're
Well,
not doing you any favors.
California, I
They're
think, just
keeping
came out
you
with
in the same spot that you're in right now.
mm-hmm. California just came out, I think, with universal basic income now, $500 a month. That's inflation. So in order to combat inflation, because the average American is an idiot. The average American, sorry to say, knows nothing about finance. The average American can't even balance a checkbook. The average American, right? So a perfect example of the education system not working is all the student loan debt. You go in $100,000 to get a $40,000 job. How many people who have master's degrees, which is a hierarchy of your intelligence supposedly within the system, but yet you're $100,000 in order to get that? Obviously, you weren't smart, right? How many,
Is
occupations?
this referring to an ex-girlfriend?
No, I'm just. It might be, but
Yeah,
she was a sweet girl and stuff like that. But like, she was just like she's liberal and shit. I have no problem with that, but there's no goddamn logic involved.
She was COVID crazy.
Yeah, Joe
The
Biden.
virus took over her mind.
I thought Joe Biden was going to pay off my student loan debt. And
Dylan,
I'm
you're sweating. I don't want you to sleep next to me, you dirty, dirty dog.
Move on over, baby. I'm sleeping over.
You got a temperature of 98.7. You've got COVID.
But no, a lot of people are like this. Oh, I got $100,000 with the student loan debt. I thought Joe Biden was going to pay off my student loan debt. And I'm like, I'll explain it to our listeners the way I explained it to my ex. Honey, the student loan debt is the government's biggest asset that it has because it's non-bankruptable. You can't go bankrupt for it. So you have to pay it. That's recurring cash flow for the government.
Yes.
In like 2011, 2013, all the private banks, big banks, used to hold all that private debt. But you get the fucking Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas pieces of shit in the system that are like, we got to help out these people. We got to help them out. So they shifted
God,
all of
she's
that.
so sexy, dude. Oh,
Yeah. They
love
shifted all
her.
that student loan debt
I love
onto
Liz
the
Warren. I
government.
love Liz Warren, dog. I love her. Don't you?
No, I'm more of a Tulsi Gabbard.
She looks so good with those glasses on, dog.
Yeah. She looks like a Simpson character.
Talk dirty to me, Pocahontas. Please.
But you have a lot of highly educated people that are in hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt. I mean, you even have people with $1 million
Time out,
worth of student
dog.
loan debt.
Time out. Hold that shit. You know what? You're a Tulsi Gabbard fan. Tulsi Gabbard supported Bernie Sanders when she lost her, her bid for president.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that. I will never support Tulsi Gabbard.
Why not? She actually, out of all of them, actually served the military.
Don't
She wasn't
care.
like Trump and
Don't
dodged the
care.
draft.
I served in the military too, and there's a lot of people. There's a few people that'll probably listen to this and think that I'm fucking stupid too. Oh well, I don't care. Do you know what I'm
Right.
saying though, dog? Why
Right,
would
but
she's open to socialism? I am nowhere near open to socialism. Never
yeah,
will.
you are.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
How?
You voted for Trump.
I did vote for Trump, but Trump's
Right.
not a socialist, dog.
Yeah, he is. He's a nationalist socialist.
Explain that. Explain that.
Okay.
Break
So what
it
do you
down.
say? Hang on. I will break it down. So you say, is Trump a capitalist?
He is a capitalist, yes.
In capitalism, there is no bailouts. In socialism, there is bailouts.
When did he get a bailout?
What the fuck do you call COVID? All that happened underneath him.
That is not a bailout, dog. That is a catastrophe.
A catastrophe to cover up his bullshit.
What bullshit, dog? What bullshit are you talking about?
The tax cuts. Okay, like for instance, hear me out. This is what cracks me up, okay? I'm an independent or anarchist. And to hear people say this shit, primarily it's right, Republicans. Fucking Joe Biden and all the inflation.
I don't consider myself a Republican, dog.
Okay, you're conservative. That's perfectly fine.
I don't consider myself a conservative. I consider myself a fucking free thinker.
Right, freedom fighter. We'll put it that way.
I don't take sides because, I take sides, but I'm not on a party line because fuck parties. They're no good. I can't afford to have my voice heard. I don't have millions of dollars to donate to somebody of prominence in a party to make changes because that's what it takes now.
So wait, Goldman Sachs has more influence than your one vote does?
That's what I said, dog. Yeah. Yeah, dog.
Okay, so let me get back to this. When I hear, I thought Trump was fucking hilarious, dude. Crack me the hell up. Low IQ, I'll fight Biden in a fist fight kind of shit. I'd be laughing my ass off at that.
Yeah.
But the thing about like when I overhear Trump supporters trying to blame Biden for the inflation, I laugh my ass off. And I say, no, that's not Biden, that's Trump. If you hate all the inflation, blame Trump. And they give me like this weirdest look of like, what do you mean? And I say, okay, how much time do you have? And I don't say anything unless I like to prove it. And it's very easy to prove against Trump supporters where all this inflation came from, but they still deny it. Okay, so what are tariffs? Tariffs are a tax, right? Yes. Who put the tariffs up? Trump. Okay. We'll agree with that. 2018, he did it. Now, throughout history, America's main source of income in the early 1900s was tariffs. But tariffs only work if you're a main exporter. America, like in the 1970s, right around there, we switched from a main exporter to a main importer. Imports, guess what? Will always get all that inflation and prices always gets trickled down to the consumer, the end of the road person. If shipping costs go up because of tariffs, they raise prices to offset it and they ship it down to the harbor guys, the freight guys. Then the transportation, they ship it down to the store guys. Then ultimately it comes down to the consumer. So that's where a lot of the inflation is from, is the tariffs. Trump did that. The big whammy was 2017 tax cuts. Okay. A main thing of those tax cuts was, besides a lot of it going to the 1%, was a lot of, like, for instance, a lot of people nowadays are starting to see that they're getting smaller tax returns, right? The reason people are getting smaller tax returns is because that 2017 tax cut, the higher 1%, as if you want to put it, their tax cuts didn't roll off. The poor and the middle class, their tax incentives rolled off after 5 years, right? When you do a tax cut, it always has to be paid back, but no tax cut ever pays back for itself. So that's why people are pissed. Like, and all of this shit is happening underneath Joe Biden, but that's how it's always kind of created, right? So, like, during the 2017 tax cut, a large part of it was something called repatriation. Large corporations, because the taxes and corporate tax rate in America is so high than all across the world, that's what draws in companies, right? Lower taxes. A lot of that 2017 tax cut was a thing called repatriation. Large corporations keep billions, if not trillions of dollars overseas, like Apple and shit like that, Nike. They keep it overseas. Well, that tax cut lowered the corporate tax rate. Repatriation, it's called, so they can bring back all that dollars into America.
Yes, Trump lowered the corporate tax rate. Yeah.
Exactly right.
He said he was going to do it, and he did it.
He did it. Okay, so all of this was set up. All these dominoes were set up, and then the pandemic hits.
To fall on Trump.
The pandemic hits.
Yes, big government set up Donald Trump. Yes.
So all of this money is coming back into America.
Big government set up
Then
Donald
we shut down
Trump.
then we shut down the American
the establishment of the IRS set up Donald Trump to fall.
So, what is the definition of inflation? The increase in the money supply. Too many dollars circling too few goods.
Well,
that's why you have this high inflation.
When Biden took office.
Okay, so here's another thing that Trump supporters don't want to hear.
The American Patriot Act.
No, Donald Trump is responsible for 25% of the national debt.
And eating McDonald's?
In 4 years.
I'd eat a cheeseburger with Donald Trump.
I wouldn't.
Why?
Because he's got small hands and shit. He'd have to hold it like...
He's like 6'4".
Yeah, but you ever see his hands? He got tiny hands.
No. Come on, dog. Come on, dog.
But no, what I'm saying is all the inflation you're feeling right now is from those tax cuts. It doesn't even... Then the inflation is going to skyrocket even worse than it is now. I was just at Aldi and Alfredo was $7, dude. $7.
Yeah, you brought that up on the last episode, dog.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Eventually it'll get to $16. The inflation we're feeling now is from 2017, the tariffs. We haven't even really felt all that money printing to get us out of the pandemic. That's what I'm saying.
Trump or Biden?
I can't hear you. Put your mouth against.
Who would you rather have, Trump or Biden?
Neither.
Well, you have to choose.
Okay, so I have a question for you. You have to choose between Stalin or Hitler. Who do you pick?
Come on, dude. Come on.
It's the same equivalent.
It's not really the same, dude. Both those guys were murderers.
And we're not.
They're mass murderers of their own people.
And we're not.
I don't think Trump is a mass murderer, dude.
I think he's too dumb to even realize if he was one.
We took out Qasem Soleimani.
Yeah.
We brought justice to him. I
But,
had my hand around his neck.
ultimately, you could care less about these wars and shit like that. Ultimately, it comes down to the monetary system and the money and the printing of constantly printing money to get us out of every situation. We can't print no more. And this is where I say, like, we're kind of across the Rubicon now where essentially the government is trying to set itself up for a bigger war, and it will do a false flag cyber attack on itself to justify the blame game. Okay, so if you were about ready to retire and take out your pension system right now, because this is where all the next 6 years is where all the last of the baby boomers are going to be retiring. Between 10,000 and 15,000 baby boomers retire every single fucking day. And there's nobody coming in, younger kids, to come in and do all these skilled trade jobs, right?
Yeah, they are. Drag Queen story time.
Yeah, Drag Queen story. And this is how the plumber did a lap dance. Okay, so this is where I say it. The government is going to create a false flag cyber attack to wipe out everybody's bank accounts, wipe out everybody's pension system. It'll even wipe out the student loan debt, which some people, it'll be a big giant reset again. But the government is trying to control the narrative because that's the only thing it has left, the media, right? It controls the media. But even people aren't starting to buy it anymore. That's why everybody like Trump, oh, that's fake media and shit. It's only fake media as long as he's telling you it is. But when, he's telling you, oh, what he's doing is real, people perceive it as being real. When in fact, it's still fake media. It's still the same channel, right? That's why all of a sudden Fox News, you have Trump supporters who don't even listen to Fox News anymore. Because now they're not even no longer believing in that shit either. So you have this whole entire destabilization of the whole system now. But the debt and the interest rates that are going up is going to collapse it all. So the government is trying to create a narrative to go to war because it's kind of one of those things where if the government tells you that the Chinese or Russia stole your pension, you being a dumbed down American, you're going to believe it because you don't care or even want to fathom the fact that it could have been your own government. You just want to blame somebody, right? You ever seen the movie Vice with Christian Bale who plays Dick Cheney?
You know what? I haven't. No, dog.
You should watch it. Great movie.
Is it?
Yep. Amazing movie. There's a scene in there where they're doing a group think tank kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they're talking about
Dick Cheney.
Yeah.
You know what? Dick Cheney's a fucking piece of shit and he's a liar. He lied to this country. He's the reason why we got involved in Iraq and we should have never went over there. When he said that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction, fuck that dude. Fuck that piece of shit. I hope he burns in fucking hell.
Trying to get that oil.
Yeah, trying to get that oil. And then his dumbass daughter is getting earmarks from the government after she leaves, when she got kicked out of office. They put that bill in before Christmas. Liz Cheney gets earmarks.
Yeah.
So she's getting like extra money to do a bunch of other shit. Fuck that. Why?
Right, but this is how the system works. So you had a father and a daughter, right? Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney. And then you had Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton.
Yeah. Chelsea Clinton.
Chelsea might even go in the future or some shit, right? Yeah. Then all of a sudden, you have both of the Bushes. You have the dad Bush, the son Bush, and Jeb Bush.
Yeah, the black.
And now you
brother
hearing
Bush.
shit about Donald Trump Jr. or whatnot to run for president, or even Ivanka. They're all
way,
family.
Dude. Ivanka?
Yeah, I mean that's just what you're. I wouldn't be surprised if
the transhumanist Jared Kushner? He's part of the family.
I think Jared Kushner scares the shit out of me. Like his eyes are just pure black. Like
he's a transhumanist dog.
He looks like what if I
he
ever
wants
had a
to
picture
live
like,
forever.
If I ever had a picture like Children of the Corn, it would be like Jared Kushner and shit.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, dog.
I think that guy is just like pure evil and he has no personality.
Hmm.
You know, he you know this type of people that are just like you don't have no fucking personality. They show no expression and shit.
Yeah. But your wife's really fucking hot.
Yeah, Ivanka is, but at the same time, it's a big family oriented game to maintain power.
Yeah. Here, dog. Let's switch it up a little bit here. I got something here for you that I want to bring up. Let's see.
Lead the way, Papa Bear.
Billionaire
Thomas
H. Lee was found dead yesterday in his
office shot himself.
bathroom. Why does a 78-year-old man with $2 billion shoot himself?
Well, either
what do you know about this guy? What do you know about this guy?
Well, what was he, a media tycoon or was he a real estate tycoon?
Let me see here.
Yeah, when I read that story, I wasn't surprised one bit.
Billionaire financier.
Yeah.
He was credited with being one of the early pioneers in private equity and specifically leveraged buyouts.
Okay. So a leveraged buyout.
He founded Thomas Lee Partners, the firm he founded in 1974, is among the oldest and largest private equity firms globally.
Okay. So either he owes money to somebody because interest rates are going up and his partners are pissed because he's losing all their money, right?
Yeah.
With bad investments, or he knows something that somebody else knows and they're threatening him. Like, you either kill yourself or fucking I'll expose your ass.
Do you think it has anything to do with possibly the list getting ready to come out here whenever that's supposed to come out about Epstein Island?
Yeah, it possibly could be that, something of that nature. But
Oh, did you hear that Alan Dershowitz? Alan Dershowitz said that he went to Epstein Island, but he only got like a massage, and his wife got a massage too. And then he was all like, "Yeah, and I went to my wife too, and I told her how bad the massage was, but yeah, it was just a massage. Right? It was a bad massage."
He was
Epstein's like a constitutional lawyer or something like that.
Yeah, he was Trump's lawyer during the impeachment.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Dude, it is what I get it.
I'm like that little monkey meme.
Yeah. Everybody is fucking dirty. Everybody is putting a finger or their full hands in that big steaming pile of shit.
Right.
Yes.
Which was always fascinating to me. Me being the type of person that I am, it was always fascinating to see people blame the other side when they are participating in the very fraud that they're trying to blame somebody else on.
Yes, and then when people see it and
they go,
still... No, like people like you and me, when we see it and it pisses us off, but it's like, they know that we can't do nothing about it, which is a fucking shame. It is a shame that we can't. America, you citizens, us citizens, American citizens, we have no leverage. We have no power. We don't.
Well, ultimately, you do.
The government just walks all over you. That's all they do, day in and day out. Here, let us take our share from your paycheck every week. Oh yeah, you see the corruption with Biden. Yeah, you see it, but yeah, that's it. Nothing's gonna come of that.
You get taxed on the money you make. You get taxed on the money you spend.
What's that? You don't want to go to war with Russia, but you know what? We as the government, we want to go to war with Russia. So you know what, America? Shut the fuck up. As the government, as your government, we're looking out for your best interests. Okay? And that is World War III. And if that means thermonuclear war into the U.S., yeah, you know what? We're looking out for you because we care about you.
The elites perceive the average American no different than how a person perceives how they're in control of an ant farm. That kind of makes sense. They can shake it up whenever they want.
Mm-hmm.
They can deprive the ants of any type of food, any type of water. They are in control. That's how elites perceive the average person. They view us no different than how a person views an ant with a boot. They can crush them at any time.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, you do have control. You just have to time the control in which you're in. So all empires we know fall. And they all fall internal wise from corruption, stuff like that. Now, as it's falling, and when it does eventually fall, it's up to the American people to put their fucking boot on the government's neck when it does fall. And if it does want to get back up, it's up to us to take our boot off of the government's throat. Because the government has their boot on our throat right now. Right? This has always been out throughout history. And like, I don't want to bring up the Unabomber again, but like he came up with a kind of
That's
similar.
Ted Kaczynski.
Yeah, the Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski. But you.
He was Polish.
But no, like you see these, you could see this rising and hatred towards the federal government start to rise during the 1990s and 80s, kind of. Waco, Texas, that was a big thing, right? America, you have the freedom to practice religion, even if it is a cult. But the government and the ATF, what was his name? Who did Waco? Was it Carradine or something like that? But they ended up killing like 168 people and like 40 children or something like that. But the FBI and the ATF was surveilling David Koresh. That was his name, David Koresh. They were surveilling him, 24-hour surveillance, and they knew that David Koresh every single day took a morning jog around the compound or their surrounding area. They could have easily picked him up, right?
Yeah. What about fucking Ruby Ridge?
Yep, Ruby Ridge. They shot, and there was no charges ever pressed against him and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They were surveilling him on his own private land because of...
Killed his fucking son and his wife.
Right, with a baby in her hands or something like that.
Yeah.
So you had the whole entire government for one man, all because they assumed he had undocumented firearms.
Mm-hmm.
As an American, you have...
As an American, you shouldn't have to fucking even worry about documenting your firearms. Because you know what? The Second Amendment is fucking absolute.
Right.
Bitches.
That's the law of land. I've had this conversation with your brother. And for concealed carry, I said concealed carry permit is bullshit.
Yeah, shouldn't have it. Should not have it.
No, I said it's bullshit. Concealed carry...
As an American, it's your duty,
right,
to weaponize yourself.
Exactly right. You know,
from shit like this that's going on right now.
Exactly right. Every single human being, you know, I get it. If you're, you know, a recurring criminal and stuff like that, okay, that's perfectly fine. You've had your freedom, but you chose to abuse it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, you should no longer get it. Freedom is a privilege. If you misabuse it, you can lose it within
yourself
seconds.
over. Exactly.
Exactly right.
You want to fuck yourself over? You have that right to go fuck yourself over.
Right.
But there are consequences to that.
Mm-hmm.
But to those who are just hardworking, you know, Americans that are, you know, trying to take care of their families and living their daily lives, not causing trouble, not getting in other people's shit, they're worrying about themselves and their family. Yep. They don't deserve to be fucking picked on, and they don't deserve to be called out in the media as
you have the right to private
terrorists.
Property. But now the governments and the corporations are merging together to get rid of all private property.
Yeah.
They're like Bill Gates is buying up all the farmland and shit.
And then there's like places like BlackRock that are buying up subdivisions.
Mm-hmm.
Buying up new build homes, buying up the whole subdivisions.
Right. So when corporations merge with the government, that is fascism. Another word for fascism is corporatism.
Mm-hmm.
The corporations own the government. It's only when the government and the corporations
It's a monopoly, but it's not a monopoly because the government says it's not a monopoly.
Right. And both of them are funded by the central banks. So if you want to look at it like an octopus. The central bank is the head of the octopus. The government is the mouth.
Yes.
And the tentacles are all the corporations. The corporations keep feeding the mouth and shit like that. And as long as it feeds the mouth, guess what? It can get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. But, you know, I've had this conversation with your brother because I was like, because I'm a gun owner, and your brother's like, oh, you get your concealed carry? I said, I don't need one. He goes, what do you mean? I said, you know, the Second Amendment supersedes all laws. It's the law of the land. And he goes, well, you still need to have it in order to do, to have a firearm in Wisconsin or whatnot, to conceal and carry. I said, no, I don't. If I get busted for it, guess what? Second Amendment supersedes everything. That is the law of land. It supersedes the state law and the federal laws. It's in the Constitution. That's why it's there to begin with. But he tried to argue at me and shit. And I said, you know, gun laws are only made for those who abide by it. Criminals don't abide by gun laws. That's why they're criminals. That's why all mass shootings are in gun-restricted areas.
Yep.
You know, that's why every single time there's a, as if you want to say, a patriot who takes down a mass shooter with his own firearm, the media doesn't want to cover that shit, right? Because they're trying to get rid of guns. Canada just got rid of pistols. You can no longer buy a pistol in Canada.
And you can't protest. And now, there's no freedom of speech.
I think in Canada, they only get a firearm as bolt action or some shit like that.
Yeah, for like hunting or something like that.
Yeah. Well, this is where you have the liberals. The liberals and shit like that. The what's his name? Michael Moores of the people of the land. Where they go, you know, you shouldn't be able to have a 30 round or 100 round magazine because they aren't perceiving it as defense. They're perceiving it as offense. Oh, like some wacko. I would rather have one wacko in a mass shooting than to take away all the weapons. I've always said if the government has a bazooka, I want a bazooka. And the
government has a 50 cal, I want a fucking 50 cal. And I want it mounted on top of my fucking truck.
Right.
Bitch.
So, like, you know, liberal friends or whatnot who are against gun ownership and stuff like that. I said, well, have you ever fired a pistol before? Majority of them haven't even done it because they're scared of it. And a lot of people, you know, like, for example, my ex, I tried to get her to go to the gun range and she was kind of like, no, I don't want to. And I said, well, you know.
That shit scares me.
Yeah. Well, she was low-key a feminist and stuff like that. And I said, well, honey, you know, if every single female was educated in firearms, the rape in the country would plummet. Because every single rapist, if he had the ideology that every woman was armed, or do you really think he would try it? She's like, no, I don't think they would. I said, right. So why don't how come more women aren't familiar with firearms? It's the one thing that you can protect yourself other than having a man protect you.
Yep. Or pepper spray.
Yeah, but, you know.
Yeah. Look, all I can say is that if you've been keeping up to date with what's going on around, you know, the world, the U.S., with all this bullshit, if it's making you mad, you're seeing things the way that it's perceived. And if you're a fucking Slava Ukraine, yeah, let's go and fight Russia. You are under a spell. I'm sorry to say it.
Russia is not your enemy. China is not your enemy.
No.
The federal government is your enemy.
The federal government has got so much shit over there that they're trying to protect that they don't want out.
Right.
That they are willing to go to war with Russia. And Russia, Russia shouldn't have invaded Ukraine.
Why?
But
it used to be their old land. Let them fight over this shit.
It did used to be their own land. That's where Russia was established.
Right. That'd be like Mexico taking over Texas and shit. They have every right to take back Texas.
But
But-
with what America did, with making what Poland NATO, like
Mhm.
all these countries just west of Russia, making them NATO, and then putting U.S. weapons into those countries and then pointing
Right.
them at Russia. I mean, do you expect Russia just to stand still and not do
Right.
anything?
Exactly. I mean, that's just
there
it.
was with Gorbachev when he took down the wall.
Mhm.
When that wall went down, that was it. Germany was as far as we were to go. We
Well,
were not supposed to move any further east.
mhm. On the financial terms of that, Russia doesn't have any Rothschild banks.
Well, that's a plus.
Yeah. So guess what? Same with
The
Iraq.
Rothschild, that family lineage, that family is like the first set of bankers in the history of history itself.
Yeah, the Rothschilds are the ones who funded the Confederates during the Civil War. The
Like they say
Rockefellers
that
funded
Putin
the
has
North.
got almost he's like, they don't know how much his net worth is, but some people say it's like $1 trillion. Well, the Rothschilds probably shit on
Yeah,
that.
well, that's just it. Iraq, Libya, and Russia all don't have Rothschild banks in them.
You ever
So
wonder
Libya,
why? You ever wonder why like the Rothschilds stay so quiet?
because all puppet masters do. That's why they have puppets to play the
Do you
stage
think
for them.
that they are the Rothschild family? Do you think that they are in control of the World Economic Forum?
I think it's a subgroup of Rothschild-minded people because it's kind of like, how do I put it? I mean, as a single individual family, you can be very, very powerful. But if you gang up with other families, you can change the whole world. Right. And I think that's kind of like their means kind of thing where they hire people to do this shit and they're bidding. Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's no different than how, like in chess, you have the pawns, you sacrifice the pawns, and then it's just a different tier up. You have the castles, right? The knights and the bishops, and then ultimately the queen and the king. But if you don't perceive it as being a chessboard and you just perceive it as being like good guy versus bad guy, you have no idea how that structure works.
Hey, you want me to say the good guys over there? What is it? The bad guys out there.
But the Rothschilds don't have a bank in Russia. That's why, for the last 7 years, we've been hearing this shit with Hillary Clinton and Russia, like Russia shit this, Russia shit that, because they want to instill another bank, central bank in Russia. It is just an octopus, or they call it a vampire squid, right?
Yeah.
The banks rule everything because the banks loan out the money to governments, they loan it out to corporations, they loan it out to humans. I mean, I was just reading an article where subprime auto loans are skyrocketing right now. Their defaults are skyrocketing. This is kind of the first domino is already starting to go. First people
can pay.
Yeah, first people start to deplete their savings, and then once their savings run out, then they start using their credit cards, and then once their
that's happening a lot too, dog.
Right, and then once their credit cards start to skyrocket and they can no longer tap into their credit cards, guess what? The first thing to go,
food stamps, dog. Food stamps.
The first thing to go will be your car, and then after that, it'll be your mortgage. And then when people start to get laid off, like they have been, and it'll keep cascading, this is where I say, like, the government's going to try to come up with another excuse. I think it's in June or July, they're going to restart student loan payments.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's going to bring everybody to their knees.
Right. And I told my ex-girlfriend this, because she was bitching and moaning like Joe Biden lied to her and shit. Like he said he was going to pay off my student. I'm like, you fucking idiot. All right. But I love you. I'm like, bitch, I love you. But what made you?
I love you. I love you, babe.
Yeah. But I told her, I was like, so let me ask you this question, honey. In the 3 years since you haven't had to pay any student loan payments, have you put one nickel or one dime towards it? Because it's been interest free the whole entire time. Have you put any money towards your student loans in 3 years? No. Then the problem ain't your student loans. The problem is self-control. Because every fucking time I walk out your goddamn door, there's 8 Amazon packages and shit. I was like, I don't want to hear this crap about the student loan shit. I said, you had 3 years to pay it down, and you didn't. You're like a lot of Americans. Well, they told me I didn't have to, you know. And I'm just like, honey, I don't want to hear this shit. Your problem isn't your student loans. The problem is your self-control.
Look, I think
sacrifice. It's called sacrifice.
What people need to realize, so if you're listening to us, if you're watching us, like, subscribe.
Start stacking sandbags and get a fucking gun.
Well, yeah, that, but you find yourself, being a weekly grocery shopper, maybe spend like an extra $50 if on some
Canned
extra
goods.
food. Yeah, stuff that you can store. Start buying water, toiletries.
Candles.
Remember when we had the toilet paper shortage? You might want to start stocking up on toilet paper now if you can. Eggs.
Right. You don't want to be Robin Williams and Jumanji and wiping your ass with banana leaves.
Oh, gross, dog.
I guess you could always use your socks. They are cottony soft.
Oh, that too. Yeah. Socks, yeah.
But no, you can do the basic necessities. Every week, just take a little extra money and go out and buy some canned goods.
Yep.
I think every single family should have a little bit of a storage.
Yep. Canned goods, or there are places that do sell like MRE type of,
Or what you can also do is
perishable
teach your
foods.
children how to cook at a younger age.
That too.
Teach
your kids
children
how to hunt.
Yeah, hunting, stuff like that. I mean, go back to the traditional old ways.
Mm-hmm. Get them involved outdoors.
Yeah.
Spend a weekend, camping or something. Little stuff like that helps. Like, and it gives somebody confidence when they can learn, to be somewhat independent.
Mm-hmm. It gives a person a good sense of well-being and confidence in themselves, that they can trust themselves, because nobody trusts anything nowadays.
Well, it's funny how when we can revert back to our natural habitat, the way that we were designed, how different and how special it makes you feel compared to just having everything be a convenience all the time.
Right.
It's
the things you take for granted eventually end up taking you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like your phone. It just thing consumes me, man. It consumes me, but you can't let it consume you, because it's
I remember
valuable
the old
time that
phones
you're
where you
missing with
could
your family.
remember the old phones where you had like a 26-foot cord where you could go in the other rooms and shit like that, but it was still attached to the wall.
Yeah, dog, yeah.
I seen a little skit where they introduced the payphone to like millennials or like Gen Zers. They're like, what the fuck is this? Like, they couldn't operate a payphone. They're like, what do you mean I gotta put change in there? Like, who carries change?
God, that's what I said when I was younger in grade school, when I saw like
I don't need algebra.
when I saw the telephone that had like the rotating spinner.
Yeah.
I was like, how in the hell do I use this damn thing? I'm like spinning it. It's like I'm like doing my own mixtape on the phone.
The trick was you had to use a pencil. Yeah, you had to use the pencil and shit in order to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's one of the best things you can do is teach your kids at a young age and to be dependent and to question everything. My parents taught me that from a get-go. Don't listen to shit. Question everything.
It's important.
And if it sounds too good to be true, it is too good to be true.
Yeah. And if the government tells you that the sky is, purple, it's not purple.
Mm-hmm.
And if they tell you 2 + 2 is 5, no,
It's
It's
17 now with Common
Yeah.
Core, man.
Or it's 69, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that'll just about do it for this episode.
Dylan's got to go get fucked up at the bar tonight.
Gotta support my small businesses.
That's right. Where can they find us, Dill baby?
You can find us on our YouTube channel at Truth Over Facts podcast.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. And you can also find us on Twitter at Truth_over Facts on Twitter. And our email address is truthoverfactspodcast@gmail.com.
Sounds good, dog. Have fun at the bar, dog.
Yeah, I will. I have fun a lot.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Stay vigilant.
Yep. Always remember, dissent is the ultimate form of patriotism. Thomas Jefferson.
Amen.
Peace
dog.
out.
Good night, everybody.
Night.